My name is Beth Eggleston, and I am a registered dietitian with Nutrition by Meyer. And I'm really excited to be here today with wonderful pistachios who is powering our cooking class. We are going to be making carrot slaw with cilantro lime dressing and wonderful pistachios crusted salmon. So it's going to be really delicious, and we have some very special guests here as well. We have Lindsay Bartlett from Wonderful Pistachios. So I'm going to hand it over to her to introduce herself and tell a little bit about your professional background.
Yes, thank you, Beth. Hi, I'm Lindsay, and I am a coordinator on the nutrition communications team. And yeah, we're really excited to be partnering with Meyer today for this cooking demo. It's going to be really good. And yeah, I'm really excited to get started.
And where are you coming to us from, Lindsay?
Yeah, we're based in Los Angeles,
Okay.
but our pistachios are grown in the Central Valley of California. Yes.
Do you get to go up to the farms very often? The orchards?
We not very often, but we definitely do have the chance to go see it and see the plant because our processing plant is there as well and kind of see how the pistachios are harvested and processed.
Very cool. I love, love, love that. Well, let's get
Yeah.
started with our recipes today. I have first preheated the oven to 425 degrees, so a pretty hot oven because we're going to roast some potatoes here in a minute. But I'm going to get started with making our essentially a chimichurri. And so I've washed a whole bunch of cilantro because we need 2 cups of cilantro for this chimichurri. And if you are of the 4 to 14% of the population that doesn't like cilantro, maybe it has that soapy taste, you are able to use other herbs for this type of chimichurri. You can certainly use parsley. Cilantro comes from the parsley and carrot family, so there's a lot of similarities there. But cilantro is really, really full of vitamin K and lots of other nutrients. So we're going to use this as the base of our chimichurri. And as I mentioned, we are going to use 2 cups of this washed cilantro right here. But Lindsay, question for you. Why pistachios? Why did you get into the pistachio business? What's so great about pistachios?
Yeah, there is a lot of great things about pistachios. One of our favorite reasons for working for a wonderful company is that and that we're proud of is that pistachios are the only nut that is a complete plant protein, meaning it has all 9 essential amino acids, which is similar to a meat source protein. So a lot of plant sources don't have all 9 essential amino acids. So pistachios provide that. And it's actually the only nut that does provide that. And it's also one of the lowest calorie and lowest fat snack nuts. And you also get more nuts per serving than nuts such as almonds and cashews. So yeah, pistachio really has a lot of nutrients and a lot of benefits to it.
Well, that's fantastic because pistachios are one of my very favorite nuts. There's so many varieties of wonderful pistachios to snack on or add to different foods. I have a couple here. I've got some smoky barbecue. I've got the lightly salted, and then my absolute favorite for snacking, the sea salt and vinegar. These are delicious. I can't stop eating them. Do you have a favorite one,
I
Lindsay?
do. I have a couple favorites. It depends on my mood, but
Hmm.
I do love her honey roasted
Oh
because
yeah.
I have a sweet tooth. Yes. And I like to add them to my yogurts and they, bring a little bit of the sweet taste to things. And then I also like our jalapeno lime for the
Oh
more
yes.
savory side. But I will say that I really do love our new unsalted because I love to add them to like salads and like I said, my yogurt. And I feel like the taste of pistachios really serves itself. It has a really great sweet and savory taste.
Absolutely. Lots of different uses for pistachios. Next, we're going to add, I have my little mini chopper here, and next thing we're going to add is 2 cloves of garlic. Don't know if you know this trick, but I took a head of garlic and broke off all the cloves, took off the outside layers and put all the cloves without peeling them in a ball jar or any type of jar. And then I just And when you shake it, you can get all the peels off. So here's one, or it loosens the peel. Peeled, two, peeled. Whoop. Do you know that trick?
I did not know that trick. I'm very impressed.
There we go.
I'm definitely
So
going
you
to use
can,
that.
take that and share it with friends and family. So I've got 2 cloves of garlic. I've got that 2 cups of cilantro. Next thing I'm going to put in is a third a cup of olive oil. So got my little measuring container here. And because of the what type of ingredients we're putting in this, it is considered a chimichurri. Later, we are going to add pistachios to it, and then it kind of transitions from a chimichurri, culinarily speaking, into a pesto minus the cheese. So I'm going to put that in there, that 1/3 a cup of olive oil. And then I'm also going to take 1 lime and zest it. If you haven't gotten into the habit of zesting citrus to add flavor to your dishes, I would highly suggest it because there's so many oils in the zest of limes, lemons, oranges, and it imparts such a bright and delicious flavor. So I always try to zest my citrus fruits. And then I'm going to add this juice of this lime as well.
I did not know that about the oils. That's
There you
interesting.
go. So anytime it says to add juice, just add the zest too. I've got all of that, and I'm going to put it on my mini chopper here. Make sure I'm not forgetting anything. Doesn't look like it. And let that run for a minute. Pardon me if it's loud.
I'll hop in here real quick for a little fun fact about, or I guess not fun fact, but a tip on how to store pistachios because I actually did not realize this until I started working for the wonderful company. But the best way to actually store open pistachios is in a sealed container in the fridge. I would have never thought to put my pistachios in the fridge, but that is the best way to keep the quality. But if you don't want to put them in the fridge, it's also okay to just keep them in a cool, dry place.
Would I just throw the
Um,
bag in the fridge? Or should
no,
I
so
put
you
it?
put it in a sealed container
Okay.
and then put it in the fridge. Hmm.
All right. Good to know. And so we're making salmon here today. The recipe itself calls for 4 5-ounce fillets because I didn't want to waste a lot of salmon because it's just me at home today. I did a little bit smaller amount, but you can do as much salmon as you'd like that would feed your family. So I have about 12 ounces here. And then you use about half of the mixture you just made and pour it into a resealable bag, just like that. And then gonna gonna get the salmon covered with that marinade, and I'm going to pop it in the fridge for about 20 minutes. Because of the lime juice within the marinade, it is pretty acidic, and salmon is a pretty delicate protein, so we don't want it to marinate for too long. But I am going to put it in the fridge, and then while that's marinating, I am going to get our potatoes ready. And so we have about 1.5 pounds of little potatoes here. And we're going to have these potatoes and throw them in the oven for about 15 minutes. Lindsay, can you tell me a little bit about the history of pistachios? Because I love learning why it is we eat the foods that we do.
Yeah, generally the or I guess the history of pistachios in general is they date back thousands of years and they're originate in the Middle East. But the wonderful Pistachios brand actually was launched in 2008.
Okay.
And they have been and they continue to be grown in the Central Valley of California. And that is because it's a perfect climate for pistachios. And yeah, it's with the warm days and the cool nights that really help the harvest.
Oh,
And
sorry.
yeah,
You might not know the
pistachios.
answer to this question, Lindsay, but
Uh-huh.
pistachio is kind of spelled with an Italian spelling. Is there any reason for that? And like, are they used a lot in Italian cuisine?
I'm not sure about the spelling, but I think pistachio gelato.
Yeah.
That's a good one. We've definitely seen that become really a flavor this year as well. And I really think they make a great use for gelato and a lot of culinary uses because, like I said, just the pistachio taste really has like a nutty and sweet, savory taste to it, which is a really easy thing to add to all cuisines.
Yes, absolutely. And
Yeah.
the different flavors are just going to add different flavor profiles to anything that you pair it with of all the wonderful pistachios.
Exactly. We have sweet, savory, spicy.
Yummy.
Mhm.
I have halved all of these potatoes here. I'm just going to drizzle them with about a tablespoon of olive oil and then sprinkle them with some salt and pepper and then put them in the oven for about 15 minutes just to begin the roasting process. And then after that 15 minutes, we'll put the salmon with it and roast for an additional 15 minutes. So I'm just gonna, why waste getting another thing dirty? Just gonna do a little shaky shake here and put these on my prepared baking sheet. I've got a great baking sheet right here covered with parchment. Makes them easy peasy for cleanup because I hate washing dishes. My mother always said, you do not have time to make it if you do not have time to clean it up. And so I try to impart that on my family as well when they're making things in the kitchen. But I'm going to throw these potatoes into the oven that has been preheated to the 425 degrees.
I will jump in here as well to give another fact about pistachios. So we just celebrated National Diabetes Month last month in November, and the American Diabetes Association actually calls nuts a diabetes superfood, which includes pistachios, and they can be included in a healthy diet for people with diabetes. So, yeah, they're a heart healthy food, and they make a really great snack for people with diabetes with the high protein and healthy fats.
Fiber,
Fiber,
too.
yes. We have 3 grams of fiber.
Fantastic. And most people don't get enough fiber. So that's another great call out.
Definitely.
While our potatoes are roasting, I am going to work now on our wonderful pistachios carrot slaw. So I've got a big old bowl here. And just to make things a little bit easier, I have bought some matchstick carrots. These ones are fun because these are the rainbow ones, so it's just having a lot of fun color. And I'm going to add about 2 cups of carrots, these matchstick carrots to here, which is probably just about the whole bag. So I'm just going to do that. And so look how beautiful those are. And then I don't know if you have one of these at home, but I absolutely love my mandolin slicer. This is what I'm going to use to cut my cucumber. I like English cucumbers just because the skin's a little less thick and the seeds aren't as prominent. So I'm using an English cucumber for this and slicing it really, really thin to go in our salad here. You can see those are super thin and it's a really fast slice. You just have to be very careful that you do not slice your finger because that can certainly happen and has before. I was reading in my Food Network magazine just the other day, Lindsay, that pistachio is actually the flavor of the year, which is
Yes,
super
that's
exciting.
so exciting. Yeah, and really exciting for us because obviously Like I said before, pistachios really do make a great culinary use and have that great flavor. Um, yeah, we actually, I know there was a big Dubai chocolate trend, which doesn't have to do with us, but if you're craving some chocolate, we do have some really great recipes on our website. We have a new one that came up and it's called pistachio butter cups. Yeah, so a really, really great flavor there. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Emily. Yes, this is the link to our recipes if you're
For those
interested. But
pistachio buttercups.
yes, for pistachio butter cups. But yeah, it's really exciting for us.
That's fantastic. I saw one that I was looking this up because I was like, I know I saw it somewhere. Where was it? And it was Food Network magazine. I made my sister send me a picture of the article because it was at her house. But then when I was looking it up, Food and Wine magazine
Uh-oh, I
actually
think you're
named,
frozen, Beth.
oh, I'm, can you hear me?
Now I can hear you.
Great, fantastic.
There we go.
Food and Wine magazine actually called out pistachio this year as well as one of the top flavors. So we are just right on trend with our pistachio recipes today. So
Definitely.
yeah, I have added my very thinly sliced cucumber to this slaw. And the next thing I am going to add is my pomegranate arils. I don't, guys, pomegranate arils are just about the best thing ever. And these little cups of pom arils are so fast and easy. I'll get a pomegranate every once in a while, but it can be kind of flavor intensive trying to get all the arils out. So this is a great way to kind of streamline the process. This recipe calls for a quarter of a cup, but you can use as many as you'd like if you really love pomeros. So I'm going to put a quarter of a cup in, and then I'm going to add, again, some cilantro. So, pulling these over here. And Lindsay mentioned earlier the Dubai chocolate. And if you've never had that before, it's really, really delicious. It's actually a mixture of, it's like a chocolate bar with phyllo dough, crispy phyllo dough, and then pistachio tahini cream that's been created and added to this chocolate bar. So, I actually just had a Dubai chocolate um, cheesecake recently, which was delicious. So put some pistachios in there.
Yeah. Wow. Even like a pistachio. I wonder if a pistachio butter pie would be good.
I bet it would. I mean, who wouldn't
Yeah.
like that? So
Yeah,
we're
definitely.
gonna, sorry, we're gonna just chop this real fast. You can keep talking, Lindsay.
I was just gonna say one of my favorite things to do with pistachios is actually make a pistachio butter. It's really easy and um I think pistachio butter can be forgotten a little bit with peanut butter and almond butter. But I think it really, really is so delicious. And yeah, it's really easy to make. You just put in a food processor with some water and grind it up to your consistency.
Easy peasy.
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
kind of pistachio do you use for that?
I usually use the unsalted to just
Salted,
have the
okay.
pistachio flavor, but the honey roasted would be really good. Um, Probably not the savory flavors, but lightly roasted or lightly salted, roasted and salted if you do want some salt in there.
Mhm.
Uh, be really good.
Do you use it just like you would peanut butter, put it on toast or a sandwich or anything else?
Yeah, I'm a big yogurt person, so I put in my yogurt. Or we've made this date recipe before where you flatten dates out on a sheet and then you spread pistachio butter and chocolate on top, which is really good. So I've made that before.
Yum.
Yeah.
All right, I have added about half a cup of chopped cilantro leaves. Again, if you're not a cilantro fan, you can swap this out for something else like parsley. And then I'm going to add about a quarter of a cup of our wonderful pistachios, unsalted pistachios that I've chopped as well. And I am a very much I love the ASMR videos with the sounds and textures and all of that. And there's something just supremely satisfying about chopping pistachios. And it's like the sound and how your knife moves through it. I love it. So We're going to mix all this together. And then if you're not going to eat it right away, you can hold off on dressing it. But we are going to add our dressing right now. So I'm going to set this aside while we make our dressing. And it's going to be pretty easy. And because I'm a lover of little ball jars, we're going to make it in here. So I have 2 tablespoons of lime juice, which is about the equivalent of 1 lime. I'm going to put in there. You could also put zest in there as well if you wanted to really amp up the lime flavor. I've got a tablespoon of olive oil. I've got a tablespoon. It's very, very clear, but it's rice vinegar. So you got lots of acid in there. That's really going to make it pop. I'm going to add some salt. So about a half a teaspoon of salt. And then I'm going to just grind up some pepper in there and make a really fresh, nice dressing for our slaw. And then I'm big into shaking. Big into shaking things today too. I'm just throwing cilantro all over. But then we've got this great vinaigrette here ready to go to dress our slaw. Pull this back in here. Smells delicious. Just pour it all over.
It looks delicious too.
So colorful. And especially this time of year when you're eating heavy holiday things, and maybe you need to bring a salad to an event or a dish to pass, this would be a really nice, colorful item to bring. And I think people would appreciate it as well because they're maybe a little bit tired of eating these heavy, heavy meals. So we'll give this a try in just a minute. Because we've got to get the rest of our meal ready. And we are going to take our salmon out of the fridge. It's been roughly 20 minutes. And we are going to move our potatoes to the side. And then we are going to put that salmon in the middle of the prepared baking tray and put it back into the oven for about 15 more minutes. So the salmon can cook all the way through and the potatoes can continue to roast. And salmon's going to be such a great thing, especially this time of year to incorporate into your diet. I know we were talking earlier about the weather where we lived. And here in Michigan, it is very cold today. We have outside the door, we have about 9 inches of snow. So having salmon with its anti-inflammatory properties and omega-3 fatty acids going to be really, really helpful for trying to help keep us a little bit more healthy this cold and flu season.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, the salmon and it's great protein itself, but adding that pistachio crust really kind of adds a little more protein and a little more fiber to it. So it is a great way to kind of give more flavor, give more nutrients to your salmon. Same with the carrot slaw. I like what you said, Beth. Like, I feel like there's a lot of heavy things in the winter, and sometimes it's just nice to eat something refreshing. And with the vegetables is really great, but the pistachios add that little bit of protein.
Makes a big difference.
Yeah.
So we want to, when our salmon and potatoes are complete, we are going to want to top it with what we have left of our chimichurri, but we're going to change this up from a chimichurri into a pesto. So what we're actually going to do here is add another about 1/4 cup of these unsalted pistachios to my mini chopper here and turn this, voila, from a chimichurri to a pesto. So again, apologies if it's kind of loud.
I also really like this recipe because you really can swap out different flavors if you want. Like if you do want a little less spicy, or the original recipe calls for jalapeno lime. So if you want more spicy, jalapeno lime, if you want just like the pistachio flavor unsalted, the chili roasted, you can really make it your own flavor profile.
Fantastic. I have my plate here, so I'm going to first serve myself some of this delicious slaw, carrot slaw with cilantro lime dressing right here. Look how lovely that looks. And then No, it's a miracle of modern TV. I think our salmon is done. So let me go grab that with our potatoes. Would you look at this beautiful tray of salmon with our wonderful pesto on there, cilantro pesto. I've got our roasted potatoes, and I'm going to portion some of this onto my plate here.
That looks so
Lovely.
delicious.
With some potatoes. Go. And then using basically the pesto that we just whipped up, I'm just gonna kind of spread that over my salmon, my potatoes, give it tons and tons of flavor. I will say when I put the salmon into the oven to roast, I did sprinkle it with salt and pepper to give it a little bit more flavor. So you will want to do that as well. And then you can always season at the end too. So I do have my fork right here. I'm so sorry I'm unable to share with you out there in the stratosphere, but I do want to see how it tastes. Mm, so great and flavorful. I love the crunch of the pistachios. And it's so bright with the lime juice and the cilantro. So excellent, excellent, excellent salmon. And then let's see
Yes, it
about our
looks, I agree. It looks so, so delicious. I definitely think I want to go try to make that recipe for my dinner tonight.
jut. You won't be disappointed. I'm trying to get okay, here's the slaw.
Yeah,
Mm,
the pistachios really add that, like you said, like the crunch to the salmon and the crunch to the extra crunch to the salad.
I think I like the slaw even better. It's so fresh. It's so light. And again, coming out of Thanksgiving, headed into the holidays, this is what the body needs right now, especially during just a weekday lunch. So that is delicious. And I love the different textures with the pistachios and then the pop of the pomegranate seeds. So this is a delicious, delicious dish to put on your holiday table anytime, really, because it was just so easy to create. So you
Yes,
all out
that's so
there
good.
should have the recipes. If not, they will be in your program section on healthy. Additionally, we have lots of great things coming up. We have cooking classes the next couple of Thursdays here in December. We have free mini sessions in the month of December. So make sure to text HELP to 75049 to see all those opportunities. We have all sorts of things coming up in 2026 as well. So really appreciate your time today, Lindsay. We appreciate the support of Wonderful Pistachios and the sharing of these delicious recipes that hopefully you can share with your families as well. So thank you for taking the time.
Thank you for having us, Beth. This was really, really great. The meal looks amazing. And yeah, like Beth said, we dropped the recipes in the chat. And also we have additional recipes on our website if you'd love to check that out. That's also in the chat. And then we also, if you want some more recipe inspiration, we also post a lot on our Instagram.
Oh, great.
So if you have Instagram, go check that out. There's a lot of great stuff. But yeah, thank you so much for having us. This was great.
A pleasure. Thank you so much for joining us. All right. Take care, everybody. See you
Bye.
later.